Preep, I'll redirect that question to you. Instead of taking the generic route through a Qatar or a Bahrain, the Washington has this time decided to go through Islamabad. In fact, what does this signal and how is this important? See, we have seen that there's a good relationship between Pakistan, and Pakistan enjoys also a good relationship with Iran. That's one of the reasons that they have taken this route. And Pakistan was the one country just few months back had been suggesting that there should be no more peace price for Donald Trump. And it will be again in a lighter tone. I'm sure that now Donald Trump will be suggesting this peace prize for Imuni, the one country that has been supporting, aiding and abetting terror. And because everybody has seen Pakistan for the last several years, that they had been known for fishing in troubled water, never anybody thought that they can play a very important role so far as the negotiation is concerned. But yes, right now, all I can say that they enjoy a good relationship with both the country. That's one of the reasons that they had played a role of an interlocutor. They had been interacting with them. They have been passing on message because from day one, in fact, Iran has also mentioned that there was no negotiation going on. But yes, there was the passage of message from one side to the other side. They had been discussing about certain things only a few days back. The Pakistan had suggested that there should be 45 days ceasefire, which was not agreed upon by Iran because Iran had given 10-point proposal. Now it's to be seen. Is that the same 10-point proposal that has been given by Iran right now also, because Donald Trump has mentioned in social media platform that there is a 10-point proposal, and that's a workable, let's see, what was not workable earlier and what is workable now, that is to be seen. But one thing is quite clear, that Donald Trump was looking for an exit route. He was looking for a window from where he can really move out, because he has realized, because every war there are two objectives. One is the political objective. One is the military objective. The political objective was always that they wanted a regime change, which they didn't succeed. And military objective was that they said that we have already wiped out the Navy Air Force, and we saw that. We seem to have lost audio with Prap. Dina, I'd like to come to you now, and I'd like to underline, the same point that Prape was talking. Why is Pakistan's role important here, and what in fact happens during this 14-day period? Can realistically, an agreement deal be reached in such a short time? 2 points worth noting. First, in the recent year, Pakistan's geopolitical role has reached stratospheric proportions. All of a sudden, from a country that was relatively isolated and economically struggling, all of a sudden it's concluding defense deals from a number of regional actors, Egypt, Oman, Morocco, and assorted others. It concludes a defense treaty with Saudi Arabia. Whether or not that's particularly meaningful is not important. It's the optics that count, and it's potentially considering a trilateral alliance with Turkey as well, with which it's already had a strong ongoing defense relationship. It's now joining a quadrilateral alliance with Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey, and making moves to train with Egyptian military. So all of a sudden, a country that was relatively backwater, struggling with its issues with Afghanistan and so forth, is playing a very major geopolitical and diplomatic role. And I don't believe it's a coincidence. I believe there is a concerted push by a number of countries to boost its standing because it's useful. It's useful as an interlock in that regard. The other issue concerning Pakistan is that Donald Trump's personal relationship with Pakistan. We have seen that in the matter of last few months, he discussed potential oil explorations. He's concluded deals to his son, Donald Trump Jr., and other interlocutors close to the Trump organization. And now a recent article emerged about a crypto activist from Pakistan, a 35-year-old guy who is part of the major crypto venture that Trump is finding quite profitable. And that, too, is bringing Trump closer to Pakistan and winning his trust and interest. We are seeing this business and geopolitical alignment between the Trump and his family and Pakistan regarding the objectives. Quite honestly, I don't really see how, without a clear plan towards the political aspect of the situation, anything can be resolved, whether in 2 weeks or in 2 years, unless the Trump administration is willing to put forward a phased plan that includes significant investment, not only into destabilizing the region, but also creating viable alternative path for the opposition, for the fence sitters inside the country, for the military to turn away. There's nothing. It's going to be a cycle of a return to violence. And now Iran seems to have an upper hand in claiming control over the Strait of Hormuz, which it didn't have previously. Iran is a nation that prides itself on being one of the world's earliest centers of civilization. And today, Donald Trump threatened that that civilization could die tonight. The same U.S. president who 2 days ago was posting profanities on Easter Sunday and mocking Islam. Tonight we ask, what is he up to and what does it mean for this war? With his 1 a.m. deadline looming for massive infrastructure bombardment, he posted, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. But he also hinted at hope for an 11th hour deal, writing, "Maybe something revolutionary wonderful can happen." Who knows? Tonight, Pakistan is offering a glimmer of hope. But for now, Iran is saying it'll take the gloves off and hit the Gulf even harder, depriving the U.S. and its allies of the region's oil and gas for years to come, threatening a global energy crisis that will affect us all. We are facing a fateful moment in this war. What comes next could be massive escalation, or could there still be a way out? U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, thought to be among those trying to broker an end to the war, says it's up to Iran to make a deal. I hope they make the right response, because what we really want is we want a world where oil and gas is flowing freely, where people can afford to heat their homes and cool their homes, where people can afford to transport themselves to work. But what's happened today on the ground does not bode well. In some ways, it looks like America and Israel have already started their effort to bomb Iran back to the Stone Age, to quote the American president. Iran says 9 people were killed by a missile attack on a residential building in Sharia. 2 more killed when a railway bridge was hit in the city of Kash. Strikes also targeted the Galano Bridge and a railway closer to Tehran. Another railway bridge attacked in Zanjan province near a village called Aminabad, and similar civilian targets in Iran's East Abijan province, where a road bridge was hit. There have been power cuts reported in the Karaj province, where a railway was targeted. And then there's what happened in H Island, the heart of Iran's oil industry, hit again ominously with multiple strikes by the U.S. for the first time in weeks. International correspondent Diana Magnet is in Jerusalem tonight, live to her after we speak to Mark Stone at the White House. Mark, we've learned not to be shocked by this president, but threatening a genocidal end of civilization in Iran seems to plumb new depths. Before we get on to that, some breaking news out of Pakistan tonight, giving us all a little bit of hope. What are they saying? Yeah. Look, I mean, yes, it's been a head-spinning day. Without question, the president is in the West Wing at the moment. There is a Marine on the door, so we can assume that he is in the Oval Office. And we have heard from Caroline Leavitt, who is his press secretary, that he is aware of a tweet from the Prime Minister of Pakistan. A tweet, which is important. A statement which is important because it could represent the off-ramp that perhaps Donald Trump, well, would he like to take it? We don't know. But certainly, I think the world is on edge. And as we wonder what might happen after this deadline, there are many who are hoping the off-ramp will be taken. The tweet, the statement from Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan reads as follows. Diplomatic efforts for the peaceful settlement of the ongoing war in the Middle East are progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully, with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I earnestly request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. Pakistan, in all sincerity, requests the Iranian brothers to open the Strait of Hormuz for a corresponding period of 2 weeks as a goodwill gesture. Achao. We also urge all warring parties to observe a ceasefire everywhere for 2 weeks to allow for diplomacy to achieve conclusive termination of war in the interests of long-term peace and stability in the region. Reading that, Dom, to me, that feels like the most wholesome effort at diplomacy that we have heard for quite some time in this crisis, coming from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, a country which has been at the heart of the effort to try and find some common ground between the Americans, the Israelis on one side, and the Iranians on the other side. A country which talks to both sides. And as I say, we know that the president, the American president, has seen this statement and is considering it. 8 South p.m. Eastern Time is the deadline that he has given before, well, depending on how seriously you take his demands, before he commits genocide in Iran. You could put it like that, given that he is saying that he will wipe out the Iranian civilization. 8 p.m. tonight. That is 1 p.m. in London. It's the early hours of the morning in the Iranian capital. Extraordinary times. Is he serious? Well, look, I've been spent the morning speaking to diplomatic contacts of mine in various corners of the world, people I've spoken to over many years. And to a man and a woman, they have all said to me, they just don't know. They do not know. And the governments they represent do not know what President Trump might do after 8 So, Trine, so why? Tonight. That is an extraordinary position for the world to be in. Mark, thank you very much. We'll come back to you if there is a reaction to that breaking news out of Pakistan from the president, but thank you for now. International correspondent Diana Magnet is in Jerusalem tonight for us as well. Having been in team recently, I can tell for the Iranians it may not be enough. They say a ceasefire isn't enough. They want a comprehensive peace deal and a guarantee that this war can't start again. What do you think the Israelis are going to make of what's coming out of Pakistan tonight? Well, I think the complication for Israel is whether they would then stop their war against Hezbollah, which was one of Iran's demands for any kind of peace plan. And I think that Israel thinks of that really as separate from the ongoing war with Iran and would like to continue to pursue its war against Hezbollah as long as it possibly can, because it is not managing to disarm them, and it has even admitted that it won't be able to disarm them, probably conceivably within its current operation. I think we've had word from Thran that this proposal from the Pakistani Prime Minister is being looked upon favorably. So that is something positive. It is just a 2-week ceasefire in exchange for them opening as a goodwill gesture the Straits of Hormuz for 2 weeks. That's much shorter than the original proposition. But Iran has been very clear that they will hit extremely hard if in 4 hours' time Donald Trump hits them. I mean, it really, in the statements that we've been seeing coming from Iran, it is a gloves are off situation. They've said we will strike beyond the region, beyond this Gulf region where I am, where they've been striking to date, that their targets will be expanded considerably, and they have listed various targets specifically. They say there'll be a range of surprises, but named certain oil and gas industry. They say they're going to hit Aramco, the world's largest oil company, situated essentially in eastern Saudi Arabia, just across the Persian Gulf there. They are going to try and hit the 2 major pipelines, the one through Saudi Arabia, the East-West pipeline, and also the JRA pipeline, which allow Gulf countries to bypass the Straits of Hormuz. Now, if they strike those 2 pipelines, obviously the oil price is going to go up massively. And they say, just you wait, it will go up to $200 if you think it's bad. Now it will go up. That's another threat that they've made. They've said this night will remain etched in the world's memory for decades. That's to quote the spokesman for the International Revolutionary Guard on X. And he's also outlined bridges, causeways, highways, the King Farad Highway that connects Saudi Arabia to Bahrain. He's talked about railway bridges here in Israel that they will target. Also AI centers here in Israel in response to Israeli strikes on a university yesterday and a defense-related research institute. So there is a broad spectrum of targets that Iran is outlining. It is definitely big talk. Now, whether they can do it remains to be seen, but just look at the strike that they made on the Ras Laffan LNG gas field, the world's largest LNG field, in the middle of March. Took out a huge proportion of the world's LNG. Oil prices rocketed up. It's costing Qatar $20 billion annually for the next 5 years till they repair that. That was just a lucky strike for Iran. So I think they feel they have the capabilities, or certainly they're talking the big game, that if Donald Trump hits them hard, they can hit back hard. So time is, the clock. The clock is very much ticking. I think we can expect in 4 hours' time to see a barrage of missiles coming our way and all across the Gulf. There's a picture on the Revolutionary Guard spokesman website of missiles coming in over Tel Aviv saying, boom, boom, Tel Aviv. You know, I think that tells you all you need to know about what happens if both sides refuse, or one side refuses to take Pakistan up on that peace proposal or on that ceasefire proposal.